This week on Uplift Me, we are talking about trauma bonding. What is trauma bonding and how do you know if you are trauma bonded? I see a lot of misrepresented definitions of trauma bonding on the internet, so I want to make this really clear so that you can understand what it is and be able to recognize whether or not you're in a relationship that is a trauma bonded type of relationship. So trauma bonding is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bond with somebody through a trauma that you are carrying and probably the other person is carrying from other relationships or childhood, etc., that has never really been resolved. So you attract each other through this commonality. It's almost like an emotional deficit, and not in a judgmental way, but it's, a piece of you that's hurt, that isn't fixed or restored. So you attract another person that has also traumas from, a previous relationships, trauma, what have you. And we wind up getting involved in a romantic relationship, or it could be a familial relationship, it could be a friendship, a work relationship, really it could be any kind of relationship. And what these relationships wind up doing is they give you a sense that something's off here. Why is our relationship so tumultuous? Why do I feel like I'm addicted to this person, like I just can't get away from them? And why do I keep going back to them even though we've broken up and gotten back together a million times and nothing really seems to change? And chances are, if that's you, you're probably trauma bonded. Some of the signs that you will go through that may, some of the signs you will experience if you are trauma bonded is, again, a feeling of being addicted to a person. A sense of, wow, this person keeps hurting me, but yet I always wind up forgiving them and going back to them. And this is not love. This is a trauma bond. Now, that does not mean that you don't really love somebody. If you're trauma bonded, it doesn't mean you don't really love them or you're not in love. What it means is that you may be in love or loving somebody who doesn't have the capability to love you back in a fulfilling way. And that you may need to, and it might mean that you're with somebody who does not have the ability or the care, one or the other, to love you back in a fulfilling, joyful way. Rather, they can only love you the way that they know how to, and the only way that you know how to receive love, which is, I would say, not 100% fulfilled. Now, there's no such thing as a perfect relationship or a perfect love, but trauma bonding has a very distinct characterization and appearance because there's the makeup-breakup cycle, there's forgiveness of betrayal, there's staying with somebody when they've hurt you 100 times, and you say, oh, but I love them and I just can't get away. And, many people will kind of roll their eyes and scoff when they hear what I'm saying, but it can be a marriage. It could be a 25-year relationship that is a trauma bonded relationship. It's not something that just happens to young people or brief relationships. It's a very real thing, and it feels very real because indeed you are loving this person and this person is loving you back. That's not the question. What the problem or the question is about these relationships is, are you being loved in a way that is truly loving and emotionally fulfilling and safe? Trauma bonded relationships are generally not safe, and that's part of the cycle that perpetuates them, that keeps them going. Like, you actually feel that if I end this relationship or I break up with this person, your ego self kind of tells you, or definitely tells you, that you won't survive, you won't make it. And this is an illusion, right? Because I've never heard of anybody dying because of a divorce or a breakup. Depression, absolutely, but no one's gonna actually die because they break up with somebody. But a trauma bonded relationship will make you feel that that is actually what will happen if you end the relationship. And this trauma bond is not the first rodeo for you. You probably have had many trauma bonded relationships in your life, and it usually stems from childhood, from your parents, or something in your family of origin that's happening where you were traumatized. It could be divorce, it could be a death, it could be just, abusive parents or parents that fought a lot in front of you. That's not really the issue. The issue in trauma bonding is you. If you feel that you're in this relationship that you just can't let go of, yet it's not really serving you in the highest way that you really dream about and that you really desire, you don't have to stay in it. You're being sort of tricked by your own ego and by your own emotions. And you do really feel like you're addicted, And the heart always knows when we're not being loved the way that we want to be loved. But the problem with trauma bonded relationships is, because this is all you really know, because this is all you ever received in life, it's almost impossible to understand leaving it, because it feels like love to you, because that's all you know. And again, I'm not saying it isn't love, but I guess I'm asking, is this really the highest form of love that you desire? Is this really the most love that you are capable of receiving? So getting through and cutting a cord of a trauma bond, it takes therapy, it takes work, it takes someone who really understands and knows what they're doing. And I absolutely do. I've been doing this for many years, and I've been trauma bonded myself. So who better than to work through you than someone who's actually experienced it herself? And there's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's nothing to fear, but your ego will tell you that there is. And you're so used to this sort of toxic, or it may not even seem toxic. You may be so used to this type of relationship that until you stop and look at it, you may not really understand that this is not the highest form of love that you would really like, and that you want to receive more, but you don't know how. And so with trauma bonding, we need to look at your ability to receive love, your ability to give love. And when we start to get into those kind of tender places, we'll be able to uncover and discover if you are indeed trauma bonded, and if you are, how to pull yourself out of it. Now, one of the scary things that I think causes people to avoid working on a trauma bonded relationship is the fear of losing the person. But remember, trauma bonding is not about necessarily leaving the person. If you have a person who's willing to come to the table with you and say, hey, you know what, you're right. We're both, traumatized from things in our past, from other marriages, other relationships, from childhood, and we're both sort of stifled on our ability to love because of these things, and we both want to improve our love and make it more fulfilling, more gratifying, more satisfying. And then there are other times where, unfortunately, only one person really wants to make improvements, so the other person, may not come for the ride. But either way, I'm so excited to just put this information out there so that you can really look within and try to discover or understand, is this something that applies to me? Or you can share it with someone that you really love, that you feel that this may resonate with them, or that they may really indeed be trauma bonded and they need some help, and you've sent them to the right place. So by sharing this information, we are healing the world. And what I'm doing, what I'm creating, is the healing movement. This isn't just about therapy or emotional healing. It's about a movement where we show each other love and compassion and tenderness and attention by sharing information that nurtures the soul. And that is what we're here to do today. So all week long on Uplift Me, on my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and my Instagram, we are going to be talking about trauma bonding. I'm going to be putting information out there and giving you guys links to get to my site so that you understand what to do if you want to sign up, if you want to schedule an appointment, or if you're not ready for that and you just want more information, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you follow me. It's so important because in a healing movement, we move healing to one another, and we do that by sharing loving, caring, compassionate information. And I look forward to seeing you all live Wednesday night for an hour-long discussion, an in-depth discussion about trauma bonding. And I also want to remind everybody that Monday nights at 7:30, I do an hour energetic emotional healing that you can sign up right through upliftme.com. You can go there, you can sign up, and I will send you a Zoom link so it's nice and private. And last week was wonderful. Tomorrow night it's going to be even better. Tomorrow night we're going to start with the throat chakra and emotionally healing our method of communication. That's basically what we're doing. So get involved, get online, call me, text me, write me, get involved and share this healing movement so that we can all become the very highest and most fulfilled version of ourselves. Thank you. Love to you all. Liz Stadtlander signing off. You've just been uplifted.